I'm going to show you how to divide 342 by 14 using the Big 7 method. And it's called the Big 7 because this line right here, I'm going to extend it all the way down, which creates a 7 figure. I really like the 7 method because it allows students to choose multiplication that they're used to doing or they're comfortable with. So a lot of my students are used to their 2s, their 5s, and their 10s. And the 10 times tables are really neat because all you do is add this 1 0. So for example, if I have 230 times 10, all I do is add 1 0, 2,300. If I have 23 and I want to multiply that times 10, all I do is add 1 0, 230. Before we begin, I would like to point out that this number out here, the divisor 14, is going to be multiplied by whatever number we decide to multiply right here, whether it's our 10s, our 5s, or our 2s. I want to start off by multiplying 14 times 10. And the reason I want to choose 14 times 10 is because that would give me 140, which is less than 342, and that's what I'm looking for. When I subtract, I get 202. Now I need to multiply 14 times a number that gives me something smaller than 202. And I can choose whichever one, but I'm going to go with 10 again. Because all I have to do is take my 14, add a 0, 140, which is less than 202. I subtract, and that gives me 62. This time, I can't multiply by 10 because 140 is larger than 62. So I have to figure out what number do I want to multiply 14 by that gives me something smaller than 62. And I can do times 4, I can do times 2, I can even do times 1. I'm going to go with times 2. And that would give me 28. And that works because it's less than 62. And when I subtract that, that gives me 34. Again, I'm going to go with my times 2 because I already know it's 28. And 28 is smaller than 34. 14 times 2, 28. Subtract, and this time my remainder is 6. Now, before I finish the video, I want to discuss what would happen if I had a decimal. So let's say that 342 is actually 342 thousandths. Well, what I would do with my decimal is I would bring it straight up. I would not go across for any reason. I would just go straight up. And I would add up these numbers that I got here to find my quotient. So 10 plus 10 plus 2 plus 2 equals 24. 1's place value, I put my 4. 10's place value, I write my 2. Now, between my decimal and the 2, I have the hundredths place value. And since I have my decimal, I have to make sure I write a 0 between the decimal and whatever place values are in between. So in this case, my answer is 24 thousandths.